To get started. All right, my computer has locked. Here we go. All right, a good 4 or 5 more minutes of just spinning out the legs. I don't know if any of you took advantage of this day yesterday. Randy and I decided, since the parks were open and since there was a little bit of let up for all the hospitals in the area, after 8 weeks of not being outside, we actually went and rode our bikes outside for the first time. So that was nice. We got in a good 56 miles. We found a really nice course Randy put together. Not a lot of climbing, about 2,500 feet. So that's still enough. And of course, we saw people. Those of you who might know this part of Bergen County, we have a Ramapo reservation near us. So of course, the parks were open. So we rode past the reservation just to see what was happening there. And oh my God, crazy madness. So their parking lot, they actually would only let half of the people into the parking lot. So they had a whole section that they quarantined off that you couldn't even use. So a friend of mine got there right before 8 o'clock, and she said she was the last person into the park. She pulled in, they closed the gates behind her. So down the street from Ramapo Reservation is Ramapo College. So of course, what does everybody do? They go park at the college and just start walking down the street to the park. So there's a massive stream of people walking down trying to get to the park. So I don't know if eventually they closed the park or what they did, but oh my God, there were so many people, some with masks, some without, you know, big families. It was crazy. So it's hard for people to, obviously, it's, you know, we've been given the okay, you can go out now to some places, but still have to be conscientious of where you're going. Take a walk around your neighborhood. You don't need to go to a massive park. But on the streets, we didn't see any big groups of cyclists. We saw a few people, 1 or 2. I think the most we saw was about 5. So that was nice to see that there weren't, especially even where we were riding, massive groups of people. So that was good. Good way to get back in, get the legs spinning again. I actually got a little sunburn on my legs, surprisingly. But I did put sunscreen on. Arms and face, of course, completely forgot about the legs. So if you do go out, don't forget that piece. That's a huge key. You can get your sunscreen on, because since we've been inside for so long, our bodies are definitely not used to the sun. So you guys know the drill. These are endurance-based efforts. So you want to try to keep yourself in that zone 3. You want to try to make this workout not one that's going to raise that heart rate too high. You want to keep it at a moderate pace. This zone 3 work, as I've told you in the past, is your fat burning zone. Plus it's your base zone. This is a lot of good getting your heart to kind of stay at a moderate level. I was explaining to somebody earlier in the week that when you do a lot of high intensity work and your heart rate is always way up there, as soon as you start working, all of a sudden it's like, whew, I need to go there. So you need to work on those lower zones to start building and allowing that heart to understand what a zone 3 is. And you're going to find, especially today, because the temperatures are a little warmer, It's going to be a sweat fest for sure. So hopefully you have that towel ready. You're going to need it, that's for sure. All right, so I'm going to give you gear selections. I'm going to give you cadences. But the part that I really want you to pay attention to is we're going to do 2 8-minute efforts. And we're going to also do a series of 5-minute efforts. And we're going to kind of walk around some gearing and some cadence to reach and stay in that zone 3. As always, if this gearing is too much or too little, don't hesitate to change to something that's going to keep you in that zone. So the zones are the most important part of this workout, is staying within that. All right, so let's get the legs warmed up a little bit more. Stay in your small ring, down to your 15. So you should be seeing only 3 gears underneath your chain. You're going to do 30 seconds hard, 1 minute easy. 3, 2, 1. Give me everything you got. 30 seconds. Want to blast the legs here. Start to feel that lactic acid coming to the surface. Feel the heart rate starting to rise. 3, 2, 1. Easy gear. Spin the legs. So I wish we had smell-o-vision, because this morning, Randy, probably once a week, he makes roasted vegetables. So he's made his vegetables this morning. So it smells like garlic in here. So I'm sorry that you guys can't smell it, because it actually smells pretty good. All right, we're going to do 30 seconds again. Find that gear. 15. Remember, you're only seeing 3 gears underneath your chain. 3, 2, 1. Pushing it out a little bit. Keeping that body nice and still in the upper part. That's it, Monique. Legs are working hard. 3, 2, 1. Back to that easy gear. Back to spinning them. So I have with me today for us to go through when we go through our longer efforts. I found an article on 18 healthy, high-protein snacks. So those will be good to share. I always have a lot of athletes asking me about protein sources, things to help them with recovery or in between meals. And some of you guys know that I've gone to a lot of real foods while on the bike. So that's something too to consider. Back down to that gear. 3, 2, 1. 30 seconds hard. Think about all those things we always talk about. A little bend in that elbows. Shoulders are relaxed. Wiggling those fingers. 3, 2, 1. Easy gear. Just spinning it. We got 1 more of these to go. Then we'll get into the main set. So we're going to have a quick in between to get to the first set. So here's how it's going to go. This is going to be one more 30-second effort, 1 minute easy, and then we're going to get into 2 8-minute efforts. So those of you that have heart rate or power, you can use those numbers to help you through these efforts. If you don't have it, use a rate of perceived exertion, meaning 10 is as hard as you can go. Back down to that gear with 15, last 30 seconds, 3, 2, 1. After this, I'll continue. Feel yourself using your abs. Keeping your chest open. Three, 2, 1. Nice and easy. Easiest gear you got. Nice and easy. Take a drink. Towel off a little. All right, remember the drill. At the end of the workout, this water bottle is empty. So because these efforts are a little longer than normal, I want to see each one of you taking a drink or two in between these efforts. So work on getting to that bottle on the trainer so that when you get outside, you're really good at doing that. That seems to be a bone of contention for a lot of people. All right, 2 by 8 minutes. Separated like this. 4 minutes at the bottom of zone 3. 3 minutes moving to the top of zone 3. And the last minute, we're going to kind of build it so that the last 15 seconds, you're actually hitting zone 4. So it's going to be like a build effort. Now, what I want you to pay attention to is what do we need to do to increase our heart rate, increase our cadence. So the first 4-minute effort is going to be 85-90 cadence. Then it's going to be 3 minutes of 90 to 100 cadence. And then that last minute, we're going to move into the big ring 15 so that you get that last jump right for that last minute. So you're getting some freedom for those first 7 minutes. Pick the gear that's going to work for you. So it might take you a little bit to get into it. That's okay. So here we go. 4 minutes, 85-90 cadence, bottom of zone 3. 3, 2, 1. Finding some gears. Might take you a little while to get there. That's okay. 85 might feel like a low cadence, but that's all right too. Want to just settle in. Once you hit that right heart rate zone, feel yourself kind of a sense of relief. All right, I'm there. I'm going to just stay there. Stick with it. Focus on just that. Staying in that zone. Staying at the cadence. So if you picked 85 as your cadence, the whole 4 minutes should be at 85. If you pick 90, then make it that cadence for the whole 4 minutes. This is good work because it makes us control what we're doing. And I love it when everybody gets in the zone. They get that like zone face. If your lungs are burning, might be happening to you, Bill, but that's okay. If your legs are burning, You're going too hard. So that might mean easier gear, same cadence. Having too heavy of a gear will definitely increase that heart rate. And for a lot of you, since you don't work in this zone, it's going to be hard for you to stay here. Almost to 2 minutes. Almost halfway there. And you might see the sweating process really starting to happen. Burning off some fat today. Settling in. Take those checks for yourself. Are your hips in the right place? You feel like you're in your saddle properly? Do you feel yourself slumping? Or are you sitting up nice and tall so you can turn those hips? And remember, this is a solid 8 minutes. There's no break in between. Turning my fan up. Haven't seen anybody take a drink yet. 3 minutes in. Find that water bottle. Keep pedaling through it. Put it back in. Try not to look. Try to get it right back into your water bottle, holder, or your cage, without looking at your bike. Once you know where that distance is, you can go right back to it. All right, we got 15 seconds. So I want you to increase that cadence to 90 to 95. Feel yourself move up into the top of zone 3. If you need to shift, make it happen. Good. Good concentration level. And remember, nobody's pedaling like this. Knees are up and down, straight forward. Hopefully you guys have your music blasting, or you have something keeping your mind occupied other than me talking. Coming up on 5 minutes. Two more minutes here. 2 more minutes. Right at the top of zone 3. Don't touch into zone 4 if you can avoid it. This is an endurance workout. All right, let me break out my first protein snack. This one's kind of interesting. I've never done this, but it actually makes sense. So quinoa, you guys don't know, of all the grains, has the highest percentage of protein. So, more than rice, more than farro, more than any of those. So it's a great source of protein. So here's one to consider. Greek yogurt, flavored if you like it. Add to that, that says 1 serving of plain yogurt contains 18 grams of protein, compared to only 8 in regular yogurt. Top that with some quinoa, which will offer you another 8 grams. You put about a cup in. And then maybe add on to that some fresh fruit. We're coming up to 7 minutes. When I count it down, you're going to your big ring. 15, 3, 2, 1. Big ring. Down to that 15. Push through this a little bit. We're going to build this. The last 15 seconds, we're going to be out of the saddle. Holding on to it. Cadence is going to be low. That's okay. Building some strength on top of that endurance. In 5, you're going to stand up. 3, 2, 1. Standing up for 15 seconds. Three, 2, 1. Back to your small ring. Easy gear. 2 minutes easy. Take a drink. Towel off. Change your playlist. Change your playlist for that next 8-minute effort. Now I'm going to really challenge you on this next 8-minute effort. We're going to do this in reverse. So the first minute is going to be big ring, 15, building it with that last 15 seconds out of the saddle. Then you're going to sit down, shift to your small ring, and see how long it takes you to get that heart rate or power down to the top of zone 3. Now, this is going to take a lot of patience. I know you guys can do this. It's going to really start to get you to understand how the body functions then. So then we're going to hold at 3 minutes for the top of that zone 3 and finish up with 4 minutes at the bottom of zone 3. So that effort will feel really good, especially because you're coming down from that high intensity minute at the beginning. And it's going to be the same gear. So if you paid attention to what gears you were in last time for the 3 minute and the 4 minutes, you might want to use that same gear again. And remember your cadence for 3 minutes. And I'll remind you when we get there, 90 to 100. The 4 minutes, 85 to 90. All right, so back to that big ring. Down to that 15. Here we go, 1 minute. Let's build this. The last 15 seconds, it's going to be out of the saddle. Push through this minute. We want to jack the heart rate up so you can bring it down a little. Depending on where your heart rate goes, I want you to pay attention to how long it takes you to get back down to the top of zone 4. Zone 3, sorry. 10 seconds, we're going to be out of the saddle. Three, 2, 1. 15 seconds out of the saddle. Get comfortable. Three, 2, sit down. Small ring. Pick the gear. 90 to 100 cadence. Top of zone 3. Settle into it. Pay attention to how long it's taking you to get there. Who's right where they need to be? Who's got it? Good? Good? Earl? What do you say, man? Come on. Right. Good, Elizabeth Ann. Easier gear if you need it, Earl. Way too high. Got to bring it back down. Bring that cadence down to 90 instead of 100. That'll help bring it down. Halfway through. This one always feels good because you're going in the opposite direction. You know the hard part is out of the way. It's just going to get easier as we go. Who's taking a drink? Good. Should be halfway done almost with your bottle, since we're almost to 30 minutes. We're in the second minute of this cadence zone. One more minute here, then you're going to move into the bottom of zone 3, which means you're going to decrease your cadence 85 to 90. I know that's a small cadence window, but now is when you need to figure out the gearing to keep you there. So yesterday was an interesting ride outside. Anybody that rode realized it was a little windy. That's where we had a headwind the whole day. So what do you do in a headwind? You go to a harder gear, push a lower cadence, or do you go to an easier gear, spin? So if you have somebody with you and you're pace lining like Randy and I always do, all right, you're going to get to whatever gear for this last 4 minutes is going to put you at the bottom of zone 3. Change your cadence. Decrease the intensity. So back to the spinning or not spinning. So the best thing to do is, obviously, if you're riding with someone and you're able to tuck in behind them and conserve your energy, use that time. And I was thinking about you guys the whole time was get yourself in that place where your legs are not doing a lot of work. Get comfortable, feel your legs just spinning and the muscles not firing. When he comes off from in front of me and goes to the back to get to keep on going, what you need to do is shift to an easier gear, increase your cadence. So a big gear or a hard gear and a low cadence in the wind is just going to wear your legs out majorly. So if you can spin as much as possible when you have a headwind, that's what's going to help you. Now, recognize your speed might decrease slightly, and that's not really because of your cadence. That's really because of that. Headwinds are brutal. We're going to have to do, I said to Randy, a lot of headwind training before Dirty Kansas next year. Because Kansas, it's not flat, and there's a ton of wind. So we might have to invest in a wind tunnel or something like that. All right. We're 6 minutes in. 2 more minutes to go. Who's right there on that cadence, on that heart rate? Good. And you notice that I'm there too, because I'm talking. Talking is your major gauge. If you can talk in full sentences, then you're in the right zone. If you're taking a breath every couple of minutes, then you're probably in zone 4 or higher. If you can't talk at all, then you're in zone 5, no doubt. So pay attention to that. I've mentioned it to you guys that are runners. It's the same thing when you're running. If you run with music, run sometimes without your music, so you can listen to your body. Sandy. And then you'll know when you're going too hard, because you hear yourself gasping for air as you're running along. All right, 30 seconds left. Who's taking a drink? Almost to the end of this 18-minute, really good, solid endurance effort. Now we're going to move into a fun one. It's going to really challenge you at the end of each of these 5-minute efforts. 3, 2, 1. Nice easy gear. Towel off. Take a drink. I'm going to give you a good 3 minutes just to let the heart rate. See, pay attention right now to where your heart rate's going as you're sitting back. How long is it taking you to get down to zone 2? And remember what I keep saying, when these easy parts come, go easy, it's okay. So yesterday while I was riding, I kept thinking to myself, thank God we did these trainer sessions, because I actually felt really good. So I thank you guys for keeping me fit, and hopefully you feel the same thing when you go outside, that these trainer sessions have helped us through all of this. I felt strong. Randy probably can't hear me, but I totally dropped him on this one hill, which was really nice. I looked back and I was like, whoa, wait a minute, where'd he go? So that felt good. Later in the ride, when we were both getting tired, but it was good to feel like I had some power in my legs still, which is nice. All right, so here's how this next one's gonna go. It's a pyramid of gearing. Now is when it gets a little bit harder, because I'm gonna give you a gear, I'm gonna give you a cadence, and we're gonna see if you can keep it where you need to. So try to hold those cadences as best you can. And if you need to shift one gear down or up to make it happen, that's okay too. Because I recognize everybody is at a different level and everybody's gearing is different. Like for me, as you know, I have a 53-39. So my small ring is a lot bigger than yours is, which means for me to hit certain gears, I have to put harder effort into stuff because the gearing is different. So we're going to do some 5-minute efforts. The way these are going to work, no break in between. We're going to do 3 of them. So that's 5, 10, 15 minutes worth. And I'm going to give you different gearing, different cadences, but I want you to try to hold the entire 15 minutes in the middle of your zone 3. Middle of your zone 3, but here's a little catch. I'm going to throw a little loop at you. At the end of each 5-minute effort, we're going to do a 15-second burst. increase the cadence, jack the heart rate up just a little bit, and then you're gonna have to settle right into it. So, first 5 minutes, small ring around your 23, 21. So that's an easy gear. Cadence is gonna be higher. 90 to 100, find in the middle of zone 3. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Might take you a little while to dial it in, those of you that are using heart rate. Power, it's just gonna go right there. That's the beauty of it. As you've heard me say many times before, heart rate is a delayed reaction. You have to do some work to get there. Power, instantaneous. As soon as you put those pedal to the metal, you get yourself a number. So we're gonna hold this steady. Give me a thumbs up when you get to the middle of zone 3. Good. Nice. Couple people. Good. I like it. Sticking right to that cadence. A little higher cadence because you're in a little easier gear. That's going to help you get to where you need to go. 1 minute down. All right, let's give you another good high protein snack. So, some people don't like cottage cheese, but it's actually a really good source of protein. 25 to 28 grams of protein per cup for cottage cheese. You can put in that, I've never done this, but it's the same actually. It's saying of 3 ounces of chicken breast. Interesting. Cottage cheese, as we know, with some fruit and nuts is a really good way to go. Some people actually use honey in their cottage cheese with some fruit and nuts. That gives it a little bit more sugar, but it also increases the calorie content. So think about those. Last week, Randy was only able to buy almond milk that was sweetened. We normally use the unsweetened almond milk. Oh my God, the difference? It was so sweet, I couldn't believe it. I felt like I was like drinking candy. It was so sweet. So pay attention to your labels. Look at them. It was nice to see, though, that they were using pure cane sugar in the almond milk and not some kind of stevia, monk fruit, some kind of other, or even an artificial sweetener. 3 minutes in. Who's dead on? Who's taking a drink? Good. The hardest part about this one is no break in between these. It's 15 solid minutes. If you're sweating, then you're in the right zone. Coming up on 4 minutes. So when we get to that last 15 seconds of the 5th minute, all you're going to do is shift to your big ring. We're going to stand up for 15 seconds, sit back down, and then you're going to shift to one harder gear. So if you were in your 23, you're going to go to your 21. If you were in your 21, you're going to go to your 19. And you're going to stay and go back down to the small ring to make that happen. So everybody get ready. In 10 seconds, we're going to shift to the big ring. Stand up. Give us 15 seconds hard. Find that big ring. 3, 2, 1. This is going to be hard on the legs. It's an easy gear. Tough, tough, tough to hold on. Working on some leg strength. Sitting back down. Small ring. Shift down 1 gear. You'll see your cadence might drop. If you were at 95 or 100, you might be at 90 to 95. No lower than 90 in this gear. Dial it in. Get right back to the middle of zone 3. So I talked earlier, and I started to talk about, I never finished, rated perceived exertion. Scale of 1 to 10. You should be at about a 7 right now. If you're feeling like you're breathing hard, then dial back that gear. Now I want everybody to think mentally. That's it. Get that heart rate right where you want it to be. All right, another snack for after when we're done. I do this every week. Beginning of the week, if you don't own one of these, you need to get one. It's called an hard-boiled egg maker. The best invention ever created. Looks like a giant egg. Inside, it has slots for anywhere from, depending on which one you get, 10 to 6 eggs. You put a little hole in the top, stack the eggs inside there, put some water in it, plug it in, presto changeo, bam! You have beautifully done hard-boiled eggs. And yes, they do peel easily. That seems to be the beef of most people who eat hard-boiled eggs. So what do I use them for? I put them on my lettuceless salad. If I need a snack in the middle of the day, just go grab one. It's a perfect thing. There's 13 grams of protein in 2 whole eggs, or 4 egg whites. So it's an easy way to just give yourself a quick snack. I gotta look on my list here, see if I have any vegetarian and vegan options. Yeah, Lillian gives me the thumbs up. All right, we got 2 more minutes here. Then we're gonna do just like we did last time. We're gonna go to that big ring, stay in the gear you're in. We're gonna stand up for 15 seconds. Who's right where they need to be, heart rate? Yes? Good. Everybody's giving me the thumbs up. Take a drink. So why am I pushing the drink tonight? Because whatever comes off your body, you got to replenish it. So if you have a giant puddle underneath you right now, you need to replenish that puddle. Lucy's not here. She's normally our big time puddle maker. I'm sure Glenn's sweating pretty good though. All right, 30 more seconds till we hit that big ring. Get out of the saddle, increase the intensity slightly. And then we'll sit back down and settle in to the last 5 minutes. Find that big ring. In your hoods, 3, 2, up. Good. 3, 2, 1. Small ring, 1 gear harder. Cadence is going to move down a little bit. You might be between 80 and 90. That's okay. The last 5 minutes. Settle in. Get right back to that middle of zone 3. Hopefully you're paying attention after standing up to how long it takes you to get right into that zone. Taking a drink. I was the only one taking a drink there? Really? You're done, Elizabeth Ann? You drank your whole bottle? Who put electrolyte mix in their water today? Yes. Good, you guys get an A+. Everybody else gets an A. This one's when you really need it. Again, because of that sweat factor. If you've ever been to a race or an event or a ride, you see somebody with a ton of salt on their jersey. Well, they haven't replenished their salt. They would have done that, and they would have been better off. 3 more minutes in this last one. Keep it dialed in. Don't go lower than the middle of zone 3. Don't touch into zone 4. And depending on how your hydration was yesterday and this morning, it will affect your heart rate. So if you didn't drink enough, your heart rate might go up more than you want it to go up. Taking that drink. Two more minutes. All right, let me go to my list here. All right, here's one for our vegan friends and vegetarians. Salty Crunchy is an award-winning combination. Hummus and veggies. Salty hummus packs about 5 grams of protein for a quarter cup. You can do it with carrots, celery, peppers, cauliflower, anything that's crunchy. There will be an element of salt in that hummus. One more minute to go. Perfect. I see the towels starting to wipe on the faces now. It's perfect. You know the drill. When I count it down, you're going to go to the big ring. That last 15 seconds, it's going to be out of the saddle, in your hoods. This will be a little harder. You're in a little harder gear, but not too hard. Find that big ring. 3, 2, 1. Going for it. Come on now. Check up the heart rate just one last time. 3, 2, small ring, easy gear. Woo! Spinning legs. Little spin out. One last effort. And then we're done. Wow. Good. Really good. And for those of you who rode yesterday, this actually will probably feel really good on the legs today. Just enough. Spin them out. This is a little more than what's called an active recovery day. So an active recovery day would be get on your bike, put it in your easy skier, find a cadence that feels right, just spin your legs. So, I think I told you guys this story once before, but he was a new athlete to me, and I gave him an active recovery day, and he wrote back in his comment section, it was really hard to pedal really slow. So he went out and he was pedaling like this, thinking that he had to go super slow in his pedal stroke and do everything super slow. So I had to explain to him, no, it's about just making your legs feel comfortable. You don't have to pedal at like 10 RPMs to make it happen. So his file looked pretty funny that day, actually. I think he was going at like 6 miles an hour or something. All right, we're gonna do one last, just a couple minute effort just to get you to feel that active recovery. So I want you in your easiest gear, which you're probably already there, and I want you to pedal, find that cadence where you're not feeling your muscle fibers firing. Just let them spin. Just keep the legs moving. Think about your feet here a lot. So if you're putting your toes down, and I want everybody to point their toes down, you're going to feel that in your calf muscles and in the fronts of your legs. Then I want everybody to push your heels down. You're going to feel that in your hamstrings and your glutes. Now put your feet nice and flat and take the pressure off of the pedals. You know the thing that I always say, don't feel the soles of your shoes underneath your feet. So that means you're using your clipless pedals to their capacity. And you're just letting the legs spin around at a nice, comfortable time frame. Just keep them spinning. Then start to think about your shoulders. What are they doing? Are they up at your ears at this point? Get your shoulders down and back. When you do that, you might notice, as soon as you bring your shoulders down, what engages? Your core. So as soon as you bring your shoulders down, you have to have your core being strong to hold you up. So now I want you to think about the bottom part, as I've had you do before. If you sit up, everybody sit up, settle into your saddle, feel yourself get into that perfect place where you're sitting in your saddle right on top of it. Then I want you to hold that position in your hips and bring your hands down without changing that. And what do you have to do again? Hold that core in place. So now you see, as I said to you last week, if I see double star up on the screen, I know I'm in the right position. If I'm doing this and I'm arching my back, then I'm not. So you want to keep that chest nice and open. Feel yourself also in those arms, that little Bending those elbows. I want everybody to straighten your arms as much as you can. Pushing your shoulders up. That's where you don't want to be. Now put that little bend in those elbows. Perfect. That's where it needs to be. That's where we need to find that nice, comfortable pace. Being in the right position on our bikes makes a difference. All right, I'm going to have you guys keep spinning. I'm going to open up the phone lines and let you talk a little bit. Just a reminder to Tuesday next week, and I'm going to put this in an email actually tomorrow. If possible, I'd like everybody on Tuesday who's planning to attend or sign in 5 minutes early, because it's 7 o'clock sharp, just like they do in the city. We're going to do a minute of cheering for those healthcare workers. So bring your pots and pans, your cowbells, your kids, your dog, whatever you want. We want to make a minute worth of getting some cheering for those guys. Fortunately, I know Lillian will be there. Brigitte is also planning to be there. So we'll have those two guys there that we're going to be giving those donations to the organizations that they have closest to their hearts. Yeah, exactly. All right, so let me get off, open those phone lines, and we'll go from here. Great workout, everybody.